All right. Hey, everyone. Happy 8 p.m. It's Richard Kuo here. And today's topic, there's kind of two topics I want to cover today. It is trusting our heart and being open for growth. Well, honestly, whoa, I'm hearing myself right now. Okay. So today's topic is a little bit, I want to talk about a few things. Pretty much how I came up with today's topic is literally just kind of going throughout my day and trying to figure out, did I where did I gain something new or learn something new for today? So I'll give you a quick outline of what I learned and then up to discussion and kind of play by ear based off of the questions that we receive and process this. Sound good? I actually have three thoughts today. I'm going to focus on the first two. If I remember the third thought that I have, I'll share it with you. I'm going to start with trust your heart. So the scenes, I am in the process of rebranding my, I guess you can say my personal brand, Richard Kuo or richardkuo.com. And I'm kind of thinking about all these different things like, what is not only what is my message, but kind of what is, yeah, like what's the mission? What's the core? What colors do I want to use? How do I want everything to look like? And a little bit of a brainstorm session with my girl, aka marketing expert, and I got some pretty cool tips on like how do we choose certain colors, things like that. I don't know how to say this. It's like I was really excited about these certain colors. I'm like, ooh, this is very different. This is very cool. Like I could see the colors. And then after looking at the colors, I'm just like, I feel like the colors represent me. Like they don't, when if I trust my heart, like it doesn't feel like that I want, and I guess in a way I'm a very intuitive person. I like personal brand. Everything needs to be what I feel, or kind of what my heart says. And the colors that we chose just didn't really work for me. So literally this conversation just happened. It's been an ongoing process, a conversation about my branding just a second ago. So I think trusting our heart is very important in terms of, I would say, a lot of decisions that we make in our life. We got to trust our heart in so many different ways. Wow, goodness. Sorry, I'm having these little side mental thoughts in the process. It's like, holy goodness, trust your heart. I just, I feel like it's so important for us to. It's like sometimes we get caught up with making decisions. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should talk to this girl or not. I really like a girl, but she likes someone else. I don't know if I should tell her. Like, what do I do? A lot of the solutions in our life, it could be figured. Like, we already know what to do. It's just we let fear get in the way. So I would say trust your heart is such a big deal. To me, is like you already know the answer. It's trust your heart to tell you what is the right decision versus the fear, aka the logic, kind of be the dictator of the decisions of your life. So I've had I've had a privilege and the blessing of having a lot of people message me recent, like this past month, just asking me a ton of questions, just like, hey Richard, how do I deal with this? I like I said, I like someone, but I live with them, but we're roommates, all this stuff. Like, what do I do? It's a lot of it is like you gotta trust yourself to make the right decision. Already knows. So that's one example. I don't know how life choices as well. It's like, let's say a lot of people, uh, in the space where like maybe they don't like their jobs or they feel like there's something wrong with it, or maybe they're in a relationship they don't like, or and I think this is where trust your heart comes into play again. It's this idea of knowing that your heart already has the answer, and you just get to as scary as it is, you just get to trust it, and your heart will guide you towards the right direction. So that's the abridged version of trust your heart. And then a second piece of this is grow. For today, um, I was working on my monthly challenge, the life challenge, and man, I'm I don't know how to say, like, this is very open conversation. A lot of, I guess, a lot of what I say is very raw. It's like it's almost and share it because it's so real and present and affects my thoughts. Anyway, so I'm just gonna open up about it. So I'm putting together this 30-day challenge, or approximately 30 days. It's a 1 month challenge called Own Your Life Challenge. How do I say this? I've been working very hard to make it the best thing possible, and I just received a little tip like, "Hey, you should check out this app." And I started doing research on this app. I'm like, holy goodness, it's so good. Like, this app, it's super clean. It's super intuitive. Great graphics. I'm gonna be honest. Like, part of me was like, holy goodness. Like, part of me feels like this. The way I'm doing the Own Your Life challenge, a little bit uh, makes it seem like what I'm doing is a little bit in the Stone Age compared to what this app has to offer. You can check out the app. It's called Fabulous. Yeah, so it's like a habit breaking app, which I think is great. You got to pay for it later on if you want to go to the more advanced stages. My point is, like, why this is the conversation for today. Why this is grow is because when I looked at this app, I was like, holy goodness, this app is so solid. Like, I can't even hate on it. Like, I'm impressed. That's all. Like, I think people should be using this app if they want to break habits because it has a nice rule. It has a nice flow. Again, the app is called Fabulous. I installed it in the app. I think it is a little linear. Like, on, how do I say this? It's very focused in a certain direction of goals, while the Own Your Life Challenge, which is what I'm running, is very open. Like, you can create whatever goal that you want. I think as as that what the Own Your Life Challenge has over the Fabulous app, which is nicely designed, is that there is connection, there is accountability, there's that human side of it. So we're having conversation. So anyway, I think the main thing for me, like, the why I'm sharing this with you is sometimes sometimes uh sometimes we can feel a little bit discouraged when we how do I say this, compare ourselves with other people or other things. There was a part of me, there's a little piece of me that I'm like, oh man, I feel discouraged because whoever designed this app, whoever designed this website and this process is like design wise, it's beautiful, aesthetically it's beautiful. Like why am I doing this if there's an app for this already, in a way? I do realize there are some differences, so I have to, like, take a step back and be like, okay, Richard, you could in a way feel bad that you're not opportunity. Like, I had anxiety today, a little bit of, like, dude, I could improve this 30-day challenge, this Own Your Life challenge thing that I'm working on right now. That's the plan. Like, the plan is, this is January. This is the first run of the Own Your Life challenge. Like, again, I put a lot of work into it, but guess what? Constant improvement. Like, February is going to be even better than January. And who's on for January, but finish the quality in January as well. Like, January is going to be awesome too. I'm very, very active, measuring the metrics, making sure I understand the process of what people are going through, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I got to say. Adiele say, hey, we still love you. Thank you very much. Hey, join on time. Yeah. It's good to see you on. So yeah, excuse me. I'm a little under the weather, so Peter Lamana's on. Hey, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Thanks for hopping on. A few things. So I talked about trusting our heart. I talked about being open to growth opportunities. So I think when I say be open to growth, I think really the message I want to say is this is such a great reminder that oftentimes we don't know what we don't know. I'm sitting here thinking that I have this awesome process for creating this own your life, 1 month challenge that could be repeated every single month. This other beautifully designed app called Fabulous to kind of help you break habits and create good ones, just like Own Your Life. How do I say this? What I realize is you don't know what you don't know. Or this app was introduced to me today. I thought everything was like cool. It was good. It is good. Opportunity to grow and develop the Own Your Life challenge that I'm working on in this moment. So today is day number 2. It's January 2nd. So I just day number 3. The email, and I think there's gonna be a lot of growth of this whole challenge, and I'm very interested to see where this goes. I think there's so many different ways to go about it. Peter says the topic. Hey, you're right on time, man. It's you're not that late, to be honest. You're still here. I can't read your name. It says hello from Morocco. Wish you happy New Year. To you as well. Thank you for hopping on, and I appreciate when people kind of share where they're from. It's always cool. I mean, Facebook, YouTube is all amazing. Like it's we have different audiences from all over the world. Chris Gonzalez, thanks for the spam likes. I appreciate that a lot. We already talked about trust your heart. Second part of the topic was be open to growth, and I would say the third. Okay, I would say the third kind of important lesson of today for me, almost like of this week. So one thing that I find works really, really well, I've brushed upon this in previous lives. Thing that I see works very, very well is I heard this strategy before, but a productivity hack, in my opinion, is when when you plan your day out. Let's say you're planning out tomorrow. What I would say is, I think the one big question is important task that you get to accomplish today or tomorrow. Important task that you get to accomplish today. That's going to make the most difference in your life. So, and just focus your whole entire day on that one task, and get that task done first. And then you could focus on other tasks. The point is, when I focus on just one task, list of 7 different items, the checklists are there kind of after I finish my one big task. Sometimes my big task takes all day long. Like for me, my big task for today was to schedule all the emails for the Own Your Life challenge that I'm doing, because every single day I can cut out 1 hour or whatever to write an individual email every single day by kind of at least copying pasting all the templates, but organizing everything today. It's more streamlined. They are my focus today, to just focus my whole entire day of doing this, because the thing is, if we're trying to multitask, our mind is going to get really distracted. So that's why I think some time to focus on one big task. That's kind of the productivity hack that I've learned is very effective for me. I remember when I read a book last year, this concept, focus on one big task. I'm like, meh. that's a cool idea. I'm glad, I'm glad that works for you. I wish it worked for me, but I don't see it doesn't seem like it works for me. Like I feel like I need to just schedule out my day and just accomplish everything that's important, like, all the small tasks plus the big task and get everything done. For me, at least in this moment, what I feel is like the biggest task that's going to make the biggest difference every single day be massively successful. Like it's like you can't not be successful if you're tackling your biggest task every single day, just that one. Again, if you have that extra time, then you can move on to other tasks. Process of trying to like break this down, develop like kind of like a strategy. So, for example, my biggest task of today, which was to focus on the Own Your Life challenge. I spent like 4 or 5 hours, something like that, out the structure, the emails, like everything like that, organizing everything. Um, Till probably 2 p.m. And the reason why I didn't start till later is because in our schedule that you could say are already pre-scheduled. For example, my gym only plays people only play basketball on like Tuesdays and Thursdays more at a certain time. So I knew well because that's what I want to do today. So I'm not going to do that until afterwards. Oh. Onothak says, is this the first time you stream on YouTube and Facebook? No, it's not. This is I've been doing it for probably this past week. Longer than that, maybe the past week and a half to 2 weeks. Yeah. What I will say, which is really cool, is I finally figured out like on a phone and a camera, like this you see me on. So two different devices. So like that's kind of going back and forth. I just figured out you can use one camera and stream on two platforms at the same time. I didn't know that. I thought it would be like, sorry, you can't do it because platform. But yes, turns out I could stream two at the same time. So literally, it's I'm looking at one person, you, and streaming at the same time. I kind of have a feeling, just kind of seeing where this conversation is going, that today will be a little bit shorter of a conversation, which is okay because I honestly have a ton of work to do. But I having these conversations on a daily basis, and if you got questions, I'm happy to answer. What else? I want to stay focused on like providing value and good stuff like that. Mm, Here, I'll talk about my sickness. So I'm feeling a little under the weather, meaning I'm feeling a little sick right now. Sick for the past, I don't know, 5 days or so, and it's kind of been like this weird balance. It's not like I haven't been deathly sick, been fully recovered. Like it's been this, like, I don't know how to say it, like my brain hurts, still do work, but I got to balance. Like I know if I don't rest enough, or if I don't take care of my body enough, like the sickness will just, but if I'm resting, if I'm taking care of my body, then I could stabilize. So I'm at the stable period right now. I don't know all the science behind getting better, but busted out some tea. Cheers. Mm. For the past few days, I haven't been fluids, and I should have been drinking more water than I have been. But anyway, I think in regards to kind of sickness and I don't know, how do we deal with sickness and staying productive and all that stuff? I think again, like I mentioned, I think yesterday, I believe it's really important to hold on. It's very important to kind of like listen to our bodies and take care of our bodies first. If we're not taking care of our bodies, then everything kind of falls apart. Like if we're not taking care of our bodies, all that sickness, I don't know how to say this. Yes, if it's crunch time, you got to do work, then you push through. You got to do what you got to do. Luxury of healing your body through rest and whatever nutrition, I would say do it. Rest yourself up and then get back to work in that nice productive state. Good to see you on. Good to see you on. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of. Is that you? Is that you? Who? Oh, never mind. I got you, Taki. There's some people who are on my stream who hasn't signed up for the Own Your Life Challenge, but they haven't added me on Messenger, on Facebook Messenger yet. So where are you at? Where are you at? We want to get you into these groups. Hope I feel better soon. Yes, little sickness is going to linger for a few days, but that's okay. All right, cool. So I don't want to drag this conversation on longer than it needs to. With that being said, up with, I would say, the three lessons of today, or the 3 thoughts of today that were, I guess you can say, powerful for me. The concept of trusting our heart. Something feels off to you. If something doesn't feel right, it means it's not right. It means, let's say you're doing something, it doesn't feel right. It probably means you should stop doing it. If it's something like, let's say you're exercising and you feel really uncomfortable, that's a different story. That's not that's pushing past your pain. However, your leg's gonna snap off or something, then that's the idea of right, and then you should probably stop. But anyway, that's a slightly different context. The point is, I think trusting our heart is such a big skill, such a big muscle that we could work in, and it's like the self-trust. So like I've just learned over this past few months, weeks, whatever it is, the more that I've learned to just trust my heart more and make that decision, I feel like it's a lot more comforting. It feels like I'm never ever making the wrong decision. So that's the power of trusting our heart. So I want to keep encouraging you to, and if you ever get stuck in a decision, trust your heart. I feel like our heart always knows the answer. Is being open to grow. I think really the message here for me was there is so much we don't know. Information out there that we're not even aware of, and we don't even know that we're not aware of. There's 4 different categories. There's know what we know what we don't know, we know, and we don't know that we don't know. Stories. Anyway, I share that with you because for anyone who has not heard that concept, like a quadrant, you know that you know that you don't know that you know, and then you don't know that you don't know. I love this quadrant, or these 4 concepts, because it's like there's so much to the world that whatever it is we don't know, or there's things that we didn't even know we knew. It's like I can't think of a clear example off the top of my head right now, but it's something like I don't know. Anyway, the point is very humbling to know that there's so much information in the world, and that's grow and learn, and there's a lot of things we don't know, and that's humbling to me. So growing, learning, all that good stuff. So that's the 2 lessons that that you see written: trust your heart, be open to grow, to develop ourselves. Point number 3, I would say, was of a productivity hack, which was focus on the one thing make the biggest difference in your life. So I guess the question to ask, I wish I had it. I know it's written somewhere. Boog's book, 6 Months to 6 Figures. The question is essentially something along the lines of, do today that'll make the biggest difference in your life. So in the morning, and then you actually do that one thing, you accomplish it every single day, I think that's gonna be a huge win. And last little pointer. This is the last little pointer. Today's a little bit of a spontaneous random conversation, but the last little pointer I have for today, implementing this little quote unquote worksheet thing, the Own Your Life Challenge people, and daily journal. And it has 3 questions. Is what did you do well today? Or it goes if you had a good or bad day today. So that's question number 1. The purpose of this question is like we did anything well. Sometimes we feel like we screwed up and didn't achieve as much as we want to achieve. Then we beat ourselves up. And healthy, I think we really need to focus on our wins. So that's something I've added to my own daily ritual is when I go to sleep. I just started this yesterday. When I go to sleep, I'm adding on how did I win today? That's the way I phrase it to myself. You know, how did I win today? So I think that's a really, really important question to answer. Is what am I grateful for today? Okay, so gratitude, thanks, all that stuff I think is really, really important to being happy. And last question number 3 is what was it? How can I make tomorrow better? I think that was the question. How can I make tomorrow better? So it's all about something like what mistakes did I make today and how can I take those lessons and make tomorrow better? That's all. I got a question or question/thoughts. After I finished my studies in economy, I worked in an office for 1 year, but I realized that it was not really what I want to do. Design clothes to make clothes. Now I want to trust my heart and forget about the diploma and focus on what I really want to do. So I need to trust my heart. Yeah. You know, let's see. I agree. I think there's so much, you know, pursuing your passion, all that stuff. I think there's like this balance to it. You know, there's yes, please, everyone. I think we all should be pursuing our passion. We should all be pursuing what our heart wants us to do. Kind of a little bit of a reality part of it too. And I don't want to overburden this concept of reality. At the end of the day, we also need to be making money. Now, I don't say that as a skeptic, having a passion, but rather just clarifying that when we trust our heart, it's not just going off of passion feelings. Our heart also ties in a little bit of logic as well. So let's say if you wanted to design clothes, money off the bat, meaning like you had 0 income, but you needed, let's say let's go with $1,000 every single month to survive, to pay rent and food and all that stuff. The reality is you got to find a way to make money, right? So part of trusting your heart, I believe, is it's tying in your passion. Like, yes, I want to make clothes, but at the same time, knows that I have to make some sort of money or live with my parents or something like that, so I could save money. So that's just all I want to say there. Tacky Vanilla says, then go after it with everything you got. Exactly. Yep. If you got a passion, if you want to do something, go for it and pursue it. For someone who is young, what are some things you can do to help you later in life? Are you asking me that question? For someone who is young, what are some things you can do to help you later in life? Answer that. I'm guessing that's a question for me. First thing that comes to my mind is save money for retirement. I feel like this is kind of a tricky question. This is a little bit opinion based, or maybe a lot opinion based, really. I believe that, man, this is so I don't know how to say this. The world that we live in is so fascinating. It's like life. I'm trying to figure out what's the best thing we could do, but if we save up money, you know, a lot of us, I feel like a lot of people don't save money. But if you want to set yourself up to win for your life, investing it into we have 401ks and IRAs, individual accounts. Those are great ways, yeah, that you could save up for the future. This might sound kind of boring to some people who aren't really interested in investing. Boring thing for me for the longest time. It took me a long time to finally saving thing. How do I say this? My point is, like, you don't need to go do a 401k or a IRA, individual retirement account. My point is, like, guys at a young age to start saving money in general. And where do you want to put all this money? It's the plan of saving money is really good, because I know you can't touch it right now, and you're like, well, that kind of sucks. Like, I want to use money now. So I believe the balance. It's like, put up your funds. For me, I try to be aggressive, and I would like to. I'm a little off here, but I would like to have at least 50% of everything I earn go into some sort of savings, while the other 50% could go towards living expenses, eating out, going on trips, stuff like that. Even though it's a little bit of a stretch for me right now, like vacation trips, work trips, which is slightly vacation at the same time. Anyway, so then if you're saving money, like let's say, for example, let's say 50% you decided to go into savings. For me, I actually break down my savings account into different sections. I have savings accounts for retirement. I don't know, 30%, 50. So I got 50%. A portion of it will go into saving for retirement, like compound. Compounding means that you're building up interest, like you're getting math here, but I know if let's just say you put in like $10,000 in your 20s, and if you just leave it there in the stock market, whatever it is, in your 401k / IRA account, or whatever in retirement that you have, compound, meaning it will literally just earn you free money over time, and you don't touch it until you're 60 years old. That 10,000 can turn into, I don't know, 100, something like that. I'm kind of just making up this number. Don't shoot me, people who are into finances, and I'm not good with this stuff. My point is, the money is going to grow. It's going to compound. It's going to exponentially just grow. So investing is a good idea. I still struggle with it. Like, I'm still trying to figure it all out myself. It's kind of confusing. But at a young age, I believe if you start investing, like, you're going to be far ahead of the curve. A little bit of money, let's see. I started recently, not quite investing in it, but saving money. And before, I didn't used to save money like that. I'm so all over the place right now. When I worked a corporate job, I used to save lots of money. I used to stop saving money and kind of just live day to day. But now I've finally got to a place where I'm saving money, and I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was saving a percentage of my money. So 50%. So it was literally half my paycheck goes into my living expenses, the other half goes into my savings. And yeah, savings account, that 50%, part of it is retirement, part of it is leisure, personal growth. Other part of it is it can go into like, let's say I have a health emergency. It is, what else do I have there? Some other stuff. Just emergency, just in case something happens, or I need it for some miscellaneous thing that I didn't really think about. Saving. Okay. Okay, let's continue on with this question. For someone who's young, what are some things that you can do to help you later in life? Number one, investing / saving. Say another thing you could do is start I don't know how to say this, like, yourself early on, the more you create that resilience and you develop yourself early age, the more you could utilize that to your advantage as you go throughout life. So habits is really, really important when we're young because that will carry on when we get older and older and older. Now, for it does not matter who you are on right now. It does not matter if you are 14 years old, 20 years old, 30, 40, 60, 70. It doesn't matter. Beauty of habits is like if you start right now, you can still develop them. You can still in whatever lifetime you have, the remaining years of your life. So, um, daily habits they will ground you. They will make you feel more centered. They will confident with yourself. So I would say habits such as eating healthier, exercise, maybe reading, like learning something new, and the whole spiritual side of things. Habits such as waking up and sleeping at a certain time, or attitude, or I don't know, saying thank you, like whatever it is. For habits you build up now are going to be advantageous to you later down the road. The biggest example I can think of right now is exercise in general. For me, was a huge challenge growing up. I'd never liked going to the gym. Like I hated the gym. It's just are people lifting weights. Everyone at the gym is here to show off, and they could show off even more. And I don't really care to do that. I want a nice body, but I don't want to put in the work. I go to the gym to go play basketball and whatever, hang out with friends. But even then, it's kind of tough for me. Had growing up, and I remember my brother bought me a gym membership. Why'd you buy me a gym membership? Like I don't even use the gym. Like your money, don't do that. And this is when I was probably a little bit overweight. Like, I know you say that, and as long as you just go a few times a month, like they'll pay it off. It'll be worth it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I guess I'll try. He bought me a gym membership. The main reason was to go play basketball with him, something like that. Basketball once in a while, but I'm just like, man, I don't feel like I'm really using it. And then all of a sudden, a few months later, months later, went to the gym to go to gym classes and stuff like that. So slowly, I started developing this of going to the gym. I still had a lot of resistance, and it's not perfect. It's not easy for me to go to the gym all the time. Like it's still, like I still got to push myself. But by making it a little bit of a practice and pushing ourselves one little step at a time, I've been trying to slowly push myself since I was younger, like in my teens. I have a little bit more of a habit to the point where that I work out, almost every single day. At least on average 30 minutes every single day is every single week. So habits important. Okay, for you. I'm not sure if that's a legit question. Either way, I'll answer it. So is cross-dressing okay with me? I mean, general, like, sure. If you, how do I is okay? If you're asking like kind of like a troll question, like, do I cross-dress? I don't cross-dress, but for anyone who cross-dresses, that's you, go for it. Like if that's I feel like people should embrace who they are, and if they want to cross-dress, if they don't feel like this, how do I say this? Whatever society has deemed as, this is a men's shirt. I don't wear a men's shirt. You're a guy, but you want to wear a dress or whatever. Like this is kind of, I feel like this is challenging because like we have this whole societal norms and expectations and people judge and all that stuff. But like seriously, if you want to cross dress, go do you, like to be yourself and don't worry, other people think about you. So that's what I got. So what next? I think we're pretty good. We had some good Q&A. We hit the topics we're pretty good on. Yep. that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna waste more of your time. I think we hit the nail on the head right now. So, alrighty, what's up? I see some buzzing messages. What's going on here? So, all right. Um. Oh goodness, I gotta work. Hebrew is it Hebrew? Oh goodness, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm silly. Hold on, I'll figure this out. Arabic. There we go. Arabic writing. Okay, I'm so bad. Please forgive me for that. So Arabic name, which we're gonna translate this. Ooh, wow. The name is. Ooh, wow. Ooh, Karana Tajida, which means good optimism you find. On Google. So this person says, I have an idea about money. Hanane? Hanane? You give me a phonetic translation, that'd be great. But thank you. So Hanane, I'm gonna go with Hanane right now. Correct me if I'm mispronouncing. It says, I have an idea about money from my parents. Give 10% to poor people. You save 40% with the other 50%. Because you make others happy, you'll see that you feel better in your life. I think that's a great idea. I think that's super powerful. Hearing that, like, I don't know how to say this. Like, I've had this idea, money, giving a certain portion of the money that I earn to people, and I'm going to be very, very vulnerable here. I'm all about giving my time, but like, oh, this is such a real conversation to me. Like, probably have an emotional attachment to money that is unhealthy. I have given money in the past. I have given money when I had it, but like it's hard for me to take a little piece of my income and donate to in this moment, but I want to. So I'm almost like waiting for the opportunity for it to just feel right. Like, you know what? Okay, it's time. Let's just do it. A little bit hesitant there, but I feel like you're so right. Even a small percentage, like let's say maybe for me, if I'm scared for 10, or do something smaller, like 5%. But I think you're right. Like when we give money, it feels good, and we're supporting other people. Right now, this is such a vulnerable conversation for me right now. I feel like I get to take care of myself. It's like, I don't know how to say this. It's weird. I get to work through this conversation still, but like I feel like I got to take care of myself. And moments for me personally, this is why I personally choose to rather donate my time versus time, my wisdom, whatever, all that kind of stuff versus however, I'll donate money once in a while, but not quite 10%, if that makes sense. But thank you for sharing. Like seriously, I appreciate it because it makes me think about it again. I know I don't want to forget about that. And I hear this is a great strategy. The best time to start giving money is now. Percentages. So if you don't make a lot of money and you give away 10%, it's not that much, right? About building in that habit. So I feel like I get to do that. But sometimes I'm like, I like 1%. And there's I'm like, man, I feel so insulting only donating 1% of my income because it's not much at all. So place to start, right? So there we go. Maybe I'll start with that 1%, 2%, 3%, 4 or 5. We're opening up that conversation. It's that definitely part that just like made me feel uncomfortable in a good way. Hanan, without Hanan. Thank you. Living I'm not clear on what you're asking here. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to clarify. You can clarify. I'm not sure if you want. Taki Vanilla says, Hanan, where would you to give money? How do you figure out where to give money? There are so many options. So Hanan, if you want to answer that, that'd be great. Now, let's see here. There's a few different thoughts. I'm not religious, but I do know a lot of will donate. They'll tithe 10%, meaning they'll take the 10% and they'll donate towards the church. So that's one thing. For me, if I'm still trying to figure that out too, like for donating the money is like I'm not exactly sure where I would donate to too. Give and be a nice excuse I feel for myself, and I got to change the conversation, but like building schools in third world countries, pencils of promise, stuff like that, with like mentorship programs to help mentor middle school boys to become like good confidence and believe in themselves. So that's another option for me there. To donate back to the Plus Me Project, which is the nonprofit that I work with, and they bring speakers such as myself to come speak to schools. So to give back in a way. So yeah. Let's see. Is rational selfishness good and moral are indebted to fellow man at birth? Are we what is rational selfishness good and are we indebted to fellow man at birth? I don't know what rational selfishness means exactly. Pretty deep question here. So I'm gonna start with the second half of the question. Are we indebted to fellow man at birth? This is so subjective. This is so everyone's gonna have a completely different answer to this. How do I say this? Hold on, I'm gonna trust my heart in this one. This is tricky. So are we indebted to fellow man at birth? I want to say no. That we are not indebted to fellow man at birth. If we choose, if we want to feel indebted, our parents have given us so much. However, this is tricky because I feel like our parents made the decision to give birth to us. I argue this too on a, we could have, never mind, that's too deep. Made the decision to give us birth. Therefore, in a way, I feel like freedom is our birthright. Something that Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters says. My point of this is a lot of us who come from very traditional backgrounds of Asian culture, as well as Hispanic, as well as Middle Eastern, so many different cultures, like almost everywhere. This expectation that whatever, we gotta give back to our parents. In my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, who expect us to give back to them, especially at least one of my parents, and I feel like it was their decision to give birth to us. Way I don't feel like we have the right to ask for things in return. I don't feel like I have the right to give a debt to my child. If I give birth to a child, whatever, if I have a child, they should owe me anything. It's because it was my choice. Force that expectation on someone else, but I think a lot of traditional cultures do that, and non-traditional too. On that, let's see, rational selfishness. let's see. Selfishness, not greedy. I'm not clear on what that is. Oh, I don't know who that person is. Lulz the AA. Taki Vanilla says, I don't know exactly what you mean, Lulz, but I do find you are kind of being selfish when you do good acts. That good acts help you more than they help others. Yeah, I mean, I think there is a certain level of selfishness in doing good acts. We do good acts because it makes us feel good about ourselves. So yes, I think by nature, acts or random acts of kindness, whatever it is selfish in a good way. It's beneficial to society. So that's my thought there. It says your rational or logic is different from than everyone else, so it's hard to define whether or not it's good. I like that. If you see a drowning child, what do you do, and what are your moral obligated to do? Let's see. If you see a drowning child, what do you do? That's up to you. That's up to each individual. I can speak for myself, but I can't speak for you. I don't want to put the expectation on you that you have to do something. If I see a drowning child, I believe it is my moral obligation to go save that child. That's based off my own moral compass and principles. Now, if your moral compass and principles don't have that, don't worry about it. But that's just myself. Oh, there we go. Rich Fuente, good to see you on. I need help on the next question. Challenge. So, Richard, let me know how I can support you. And yeah, or did we ever schedule? I don't think you ever scheduled some time to chat with me using the calendar, the link that I sent you. So, let's schedule some time to chat. I think that'll be more supportive than asking here. Communication is going to be more effective than written communication. Hanan says, my religion says that if we give 10%, you will receive more than money. And I never have a day without having money. Just makes other happy, makes you also happy. The idea of is not be attached to money. I like that. So I appreciate that a lot. I think, wow, I'm getting some chills here. Like that's really cool. I think the idea of not being attached to money. If I'm being completely honest, I feel like I am attached to money. I think, influenced me to be attached to money, and because my parents were all about saving money. Don't spend money, save money. It was all about scarcity. So for me, I get to break out of that mindset, and that's something I'm constantly working on. And I've mentioned a few examples in the past, and how I've been kind of trying to stretch it and not put that attachment to it. But at the same time, there's a little bit of a reality to it too, where we get to make money to survive too. So, but yes, I do believe there is a side where when you give money, being so attached to it, money tends to come in like, better. So I think there's a certain magic to it, like this energy. It's like when we're so attached to money, because when we're afraid to give money, it's the same effect when we try to, I don't know how to say it, receive money at the same time. So that's a conversation itself. All right. Lowell says, are we obligated to give to society? And what do I think about libertarianism? Oh goodness, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not libertarian. Some interesting questions here. I'm not good with libertarianism, and I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to answer that part of the question. Let's see. Ayn Rand, I don't know much about Ayn Rand, so I'm not going to talk about that. But I will answer your question. To society, that's you got to answer for yourself. I say this. I feel like if you feel obligated, that's like obligation comes from within. It's like, do you feel obligated? You're not obligated to do anything. As a human being, you're not obligated to do anything. If you want to put the obligation on yourself, then sure. Obligated to give to society. Let's see, for myself, I kind of feel like it's a yes and it's a no. I believe as a human being, Christine, I see you on here. I don't know if you're listening, but I think Ralph Smart always says, what is it? Being free is our birthright, something like that. And I think the purpose of it is like, we are allowed to do whatever we want to do with our lives. I choose to have a certain obligation to give back to society because so much to me. So that's kind of my self-imposed on giving back and stuff. All right. Aside for myself and to question myself. Okay, cool. Yeah. A psychologist. Yes. Are you asking me if I'm a psychologist? If you're asking me if no, I'm not a psychologist. I just study, everyone call it, talking about life topics. I just enjoy it. Okay. Questions and stuff like that. And it's almost at the hour mark. I'm going to end this conversation here tonight. Tomorrow, I don't have a set topic, but over the next 24 hours, usually I tend to make it up on the spot. We'll come up with a new topic for tomorrow, and we'll discuss that. If you have any questions, feel free to chime in, but we'll be here, 23 hours from now, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and a wonderful, wonderful evening. Okay, take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.